So heading into the new year, I feel like we all did this. We made a resolution to get our finances in order, but we're about a month or so in, and maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. So joining me now, author and finance expert Rachel Cruz, who has this book. It's called Love Your Life, Not Theirs. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We were just talking. Even just looking through the book, I feel like this is information that we all need, especially when it comes to getting out of debt. You really have to commit. And it can feel overwhelming.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the thing with money is if you don't have a plan in place, it can be, all these numbers in your head and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. And so breaking it down and putting money habits in place is key. And so that's what my book's about. And the first one is about quitting the comparisons. And we were talking about this earlier. Yeah. And it's so hard today to really focus on your life because of Instagram and Facebook and, Twitter. You're seeing
looking at everyone's perfect lives and going, I don't have that.
Yes.
I need that vacation. Yeah.
Exactly. And it can be so damaging because you end up spending money you may or may not have to keep up a lifestyle that you think, well, everyone else is living and I'm missing out on. And so the really starting with the basics and the foundation of your heart and say, okay, I'm going to quit comparing my life to everyone else's, put the blinders on and really focus on what's best for me and my family. And that's key starting out. Any time you're looking at your money, that you're focusing on yourself.
That's a hard thing to do. I think it's a lot harder than we all assume it's going to be.
It is. It's easier said than done. And so really focusing on contentment and gratitude and, again, kind of the emotions behind money, because it's so easy to overspend when you're discontent. It's hard to get out of debt when you're discontent. Yeah. And so really focusing on who you are, laying that foundation of quitting the comparisons.
I think a lot of us are sort of in denial too. Like we go, oh, it's just $25, or oh, that's just one vacation, and then before you know it. So how do we sort of get out of that place of denial and into a place of, okay, this is what I need to do here?
Well, here you really want to happen to your money versus your money happening to you. And a lot of Americans live their lives where their money just happens to them. Yeah. And so doing a budget, being on a plan is so key. And I hear the word budget and people probably are turning off their TV because they're like, I don't want to do a budget.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
Yes, so you have to think of a budget that a budget doesn't limit your freedom. A budget gives you freedom. It gives you permission to spend. And so putting every dollar on paper that you're going to make before the month begins, listing out all the categories that you spend money on, even a miscellaneous category. Yeah. So when you walk into Target, you have some buffer there, right? and you have dollar amounts next to each of those categories. And your goal is your income for each month minus your expenses to equal zero. So every dollar that's coming in is assigned to a category. That way, you're not overspending and spending money you don't have.
Now, what about, I feel like we all hear all the time about this rainy day fund that we need to have. It's great to have emergency funds, but if we're dealing with debt as well, should you tackle one first before the other, or is there a way to do both?
Well, you really do want to solely focus on one. And so the very first thing I tell people to do, a budget that we just talked about, should be part of your lifestyle. So it's not a step, that's just something to do. Yeah. So the very first thing for people to do is to get that rainy day fund of $1,000 and then start looking at paying off debt. And so the most effective way to pay off debt is to list your debt smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate. Pay minimum payments on everything and attack the smallest debt first. So you're going to focus all of your time, all of your energy, all of your money on getting out of debt. Then once you're out of debt, you can bump that starter emergency fund of $1,000 up to 3 to 6 months of expenses.
Oh, there you go.
So you're really focusing kind of on one and then the other, because again, when you're trying to do 18 different things, you're trying to fund kids' college, fund retirement, get out of debt, it's hard to do all of that. So focusing on one step at a time is key.
I like how we're talking about all this because this is all stuff that's inside of your book. I really, even just paging through, this is really great information.
Thank you.
I like what you were saying as well, that it's all simple. It's not super overwhelming.
That's right. And that's where a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to personal finance, and they talk about investments and it's like, okay, I have no idea what this is. Yeah. And the great thing to win with money, it's common sense. Yeah. Live on less than you make. If you don't have the money, don't buy it. So you'll read the book, you'll get a good plan, but it won't be overwhelming.
Rachel, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
This fabulous information. Again, the book is called Love Your Life, Not Theirs. And hey, pick it up. It's great information.
Thank you so much.
You can also hear Rachel speak at the Smart Money event happening this evening. It is at New Life Church in Renton at 6:30. Bill, over to you.